Yo, I think we are live now, right?
Correct, yes we are. Now, we are here to watch Conquest of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood, and please let me introduce LudwigVonKoopa. Ludwig, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing fine today. Hope you have a wonderful marathon so far. I see we already have raised like over $200 for the Trevor Project. That's awesome. But we can still do better, I think. So let's go. Yeah, I will show you a cool speedrun today of a game called Conquests of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood. Very long name, but very short game, at least in the speedrun. And I am assisted today by the wonderful Lemming. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. We're going to be raising some, in addition to donations to Trevor Project, we also have to raise some ransom for King Richard here. So I think very much a very appropriate marathon game.
All right,
Ludwig, you are gonna get ransom, right? Right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But not too much. I let the ransom gather itself, rather.
Yeah. All right.
So
time is gonna start once Ludwig has figured out his settings here and hits the play button at the bottom. So Ludwig, count us down.
yeah, I will count you down, and then it's ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so right off the bat, Ludwig is going to meet his merry men and then leave them alone. This is a very socially awkward Robin Hood. He has no time for small talk. It frankly gives him anxiety. That was the first bit of tech right there. We were able to break out of a long dialogue cutscene and reset the screen by going back into that little cave. What Ludwig's doing right now is checking off a few story triggers here. This game is set up into, I want to say 13 days total, and this first one is pretty simple. You're checking in on some supporters of Robin Hood's Merry Men and then keeping watch over Watling Street here. Ludwig is going to wait for a peasant in dire need to show up, and probably do something really heroic, like, Ludwig, you left. I think you forgot to save her. Well, it was fast anyway. So now we have a...
Yeah. I just take the score loss here. That's fine.
Yeah, we're not here for points, people. We're here for speed. Before we start getting really input heavy, we do have this nice long unskippable cutscene. This is the Marion dance. This music has been drilled into my skull, as well as all the other runners of this game. It does give me a bit of a chance to review the story. So you are Robin Hood. You may be familiar. In this game, we actually have a pretty clear set of goals. So King Richard has been kidnapped by, I believe, the King of Poland. And rather than his regent, Prince John, his brother, rather than raise money to bring him free, he's just going to let him rot in a Polish dungeon. Which is why Robin and his merry men act to actually raise the money instead, all while trying not to get oppressed too hard by the Sheriff of Nottingham. And until this mystical dance Robin's had in his dream, he's been kind of feeling bad about the whole ransom thing. It's not going so great. But he just had a fever dream about a magic rock, so things are starting to look up.
Yeah, when I first started to play this game, you immediately see like all these things on the top, like ransom, outlaw, score. What does it all mean? Like no explanation, no nothing. That is basically because this game, in order to play this game correctly and to know what you're doing, you really need the manual.
Yeah, that'll come up a little bit. Back then, these games didn't like to do much in the way of quest markers or journals or things like that. So we've just met Maid Marian. He's dropped off a slipper for us that our merry man Much, the miller's son, has thoughtfully picked up for us because we didn't want to spend time picking it up ourselves. That is going to set off a chain of events where we basically do a little bit of medieval spycraft and meet other members of the resistance trying to get King Richard back to his home of beautiful England. I am also noticing in the chat that I totally got the country wrong. The Austrian king kidnaps him, so I'm sorry, Poland. I slandered you. Another aspect of this game is disguises. We often have to don Robin in various outfits so he doesn't get caught by wandering the town, as he is a known outlaw. In this case, we do have a beggar getup, so we can meet a point of contact in town, Lob the Cobbler. I don't know if that name was a gag or not. So early on, we're just doing a lot of meeting people, ignoring peasants in need, and in another game day or so, we're going to get into some more involved required questing. It's important to note, Ludwig's actually skipping a lot of content here. Part of that is speed tech, but the other part of it is just the way this game was designed. The designers were totally willing to let you make a lot of really bad, negligent choices, and you can complete the game with doing very little in the way of heroism. There may be an accounting of that at the end, but we're not, it's 90%. We're not looking for a good ending or a bad ending. We're just looking to wrap things up.
And now we come to a fork in the road where it's supposed to be random if I get the Fen monk or the Abbey monk, but for some reason I always get the Abbey monk first. I don't know if
it has to do with it has to do with where you place your cursor, and we all kind of habitually tend to click in the same direction each time.
What do I? Oh, that's what do I?
Oh yeah, you gotta pop by. It's Schrodinger's widow's sons. They're not kidnapped until you talk to her. There we go.
Okay, that's how it looks. Okay. Still learning.
Oh no, you're doing great. I feel compelled to point out that Ludwig is actually nailing some very time-sensitive skips early on, so he's done a great job of picking this up in a very short period of time. So this is our most involved negligence yet. We can't just ignore the sons entirely. We have to walk around in our costume and just leave town over and over until enough in-game time passes that the rest of your merry men say, fine, we'll rescue them ourselves, Robin. And they do, and they only lost 4 guys doing it. Outlaws go from 31 to 27. So now we are on to probably almost our critical pass heroism, and Ludwig is running into some unfortunate RNG here where a monk we need to show up is not doing so.
Oh my!
I think my record's like 14, so if you get up to that, we should be. A good
my worst was 2 so far. Okay, that was something different here.
Yeah, this guy's not a problem until suddenly he is. Another thing that we're able to skip, so normally you have to have some kind of interaction with these people we're meeting on the road to get their outfit. However, again, if we're just a really poor Robin, then the game says, fine, your merry men, catch up with them later and steal their clothes for you.
I didn't even pick up the slipper by myself. I let all my men do that at the beginning.
It's kind of Much's primary function in the band. He doesn't really have much else going on. In a band full of Friar Tuck and Little John and bards and hunters, you have your other merry man, Much. He's the miller's son.
Okay, so
that's his contribution.
The last snowy skip, like last cutscene skip, I didn't skip on purpose because if I do it too fast, I miss an important item here and cannot proceed. I did that once in the run so far.
Oh yeah, a lot of the tech in this game opens you up to a lot of accidental dead man walking scenarios. So you have to you can't go full fast. You're gonna pay for it. So Ludwig's coming up on the first of quite a few puzzles that you would have no ability to solve unless you had the in-game manual. Part of this is just what passed for anti-piracy protection back in the day, pre-internet, but when everyone could copy floppies, you needed some kind of literature that came with the game to actually make sure you could complete it. So he has to solve a variety of gemstone lore puzzles from this guard at the door. This is how all guards get initiated. They have to really read up on their gemstone riddles. There are 3 of these riddles in total, so we're 1/3 of the way there. Ludwig totally doesn't have a cheat sheet. He's actually committed each and every one of these riddles to memory. He's just that dedicated.
Oh yeah, sure.
So we have 2 objectives here. We have to spring the King's Court Jester who's been tortured and imprisoned for information. So that's step number 1. We also need to pick up a scroll with some relevant spycraft code on it while we're here. Oh, good. Okay, we found the Jester, so let's go ahead and free him. Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's hanging around.
Just need to get tortured. No, that's not good. Yeah.
All right, so we're picking up a scroll that Marion asked us to pick up. We need 1 more from this fella, so we're going to intentionally spill some wine on him. I always like that puzzle.
Because then he leaves the important scroll behind. So
Yeah, this guy's got
that totally makes sense.
This guy's got no infosec training. Oh, okay, I guess you probably should save that Jester. This is Folk. I think he's named after a kind of the proto Robin Hood of yore, who was originally a monk.
I just did it for the score, though.
Yeah, we just need him for the scroll, and he gives us some bling later that we need. So now it's time to make our speedy exit. A little bit more copy protection here, but this one's pretty painless. You just have to poke some of these faces in the right order.
I think this is the longest day in the game. Day number 5 or 6, like one of the 2. This day term it's day 6.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're all speedier from here on out.
I mean, it could also be day 7 if I need like 10 minutes to catch the pixie, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
I think the pixie is gonna see that we're in a marathon and be really respectful and show up
sure.
at a prompt amount of time. Well, what Ludwig's referring to is that now that we've picked up, one, we've saved this lady's sons. Well, we didn't, but some people did. So she's going to reward us with a magic net, like you do. And then we're going to turn in our quest item to Marion, and she's going to point out that this scroll actually gives us a secret hand-based code. Check out her lobster hands here. They maximum 2 fingers each hand. This is why we need to do the hand code. She cannot. She sadly does not have enough digits for it. But with our hand code in hand, we need to pick up some magical powers. Again, taking some getting a little supernatural with our Robin. Ooh, nice toss. All right. We need to kidnap this pixie so we can take us to Old Man Oak, which is a giant magic tree. Who's going to give us some magical abilities to go with our new hand code powers. But first, he has to make us solve more riddles.
This guy's not nice, by the way.
Oh yeah, if we don't solve his riddles, he's going to turn us into a tree permanently. No pressure.
Speaking of tree...
I think it would have been funny if all of his riddle answers were tree, but that's it. That was just random that we got that riddle first. So again, the manual comes with a review of where. Oh yeah, don't do Feather takes too long.
Yeah.
Ludwig just skipped over a riddle answer that takes too long to type on your hand, so he went for the much more brief hive. So yeah, your manual comes with a version of the hand code where you can see which part of the hand each letter is on, and that's how you communicate for either magical spells or a little bit of spy dialogue later. Ludwig casually avoiding a soft lock. If you do that, skip too slowly, the game's over. I think we are on our last costume for this particular category.
Yes.
Gonna dress up like a yeoman to enter a We're going to be too late for the tourney because we're doing a bad job, but we have to enter a fair to meet with a scholar who's going to hook us up with some more information about some sweet ransom that we can get.
This is the hardest cutscene skip. I cannot do it immediately, other than I instantly softlock the game. I have to do it after I changed clothes, and this time window is way...
It's like the fugu fish of skips.
Worse.
Like, there's a very precise time you can do it, and every other time is softlock.
And now comes the biggest time waster.
Yeah. So you'll see in the category, Ludwig is running any percent version 1.1. Shalak, the runner who submitted this to Speedromizer, he did this deliberately because that is the Steam, that's the version available on Steam and GOG. We have a separate leaderboard for version 1.0, which is a little bit more of a pain to get. That version is faster in a couple of ways, because we are able to use a different emulator that's a lot quicker. And one thing that we do in that version is we do a rapid screen transition on the screen to speed up the scholar showing up. Otherwise, it takes like a literal minute. The good news is that that's really painful on the runner's eyes and your eyes. So now we just get to hang out in a cool Nottingham fair.
Yeah, just make him dance a little bit while we wait.
Yeah, absolutely. There's stuff you can do here. Like they pack this area full of extra bonus points, and there's a lot of like cameo jokes, like references to other games from Sierra Online. The developers are hiding around here somewhere in these peasants. Now that Marion's gone, the scholars should start popping up. Oh, and there's your guy, conveniently on the wrong side of the fence.
Yeah.
There's another bit of copy protection here, but you can actually cheese it. Basically, he has to show us a coat of arms that signals us as the right person to talk to, but he's always going to show the correct one as the second press, so we always know to say no to the first one and yes to the second. And he gives a little bit of money on our way, and we continue our journey to probably get some ransom. We must get ransom at some point, right?
At some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna save again. Because sometimes I mess up this chase skip here. And
Yeah,
also, I always forget that I can skip this one.
I've done it too. What Ludwig's referring to is on this particular day, we had to spend the first half of it getting chased around by the sheriff's men who were trying to catch us. And normally you do that by hiding, turning into a tree, and waiting for a guard to slowly pass you by. But Ludwig's going to just kind of take Robin off the edge of the map and just skip that whole sequence.
You know, we're gonna bribe a guard with a penny. Yeah, this is in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, now that we're in, we can trick the sheriff into, actually, no, we don't want to do that. Let's just go. Again, social anxiety, like, you know, he just clams up at like the most critical moment. Anyway, despite us not actually doing anything, they've decided to kidnap Marion and they're gonna burn her at the stake. So we need to rescue her. You might think, based on our actions so far, that we'd also just leave her to die, but that's actually slow. So we're gonna do some actual heroism for once. We are opening a riddle box that contains a magic ring. This is the ring that controls fire, or command of fire. That'll make us immune to the flames as we rescue her from the stake here. So we're rallying our merry men, and we're going to do a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure of picking the best possible plan to save Marion. And when I say best, I mean fast. The best plan takes time, so we're not going to go with the best bet. That's what our buddy Much here is for. Much the Miller's son tends to have the worst plans when we're trying to do something, and as a result, they tend to be the fastest because they fail so quickly. So thank you, Much, patron saint of the longbow speedrunning. So we're going to save Marion with a magic rock. She has one too, and by combining them together, we can make her less dead. This is why it's faster to save her, because otherwise you just have to sit there for like a minute and wait for her to die.
I love the phrasing there. We make their less dead.
Yeah, We do have a low percent category where you have to wait for it to die. I quite enjoy that category. It's a little bit longer because you have to go out of your way to be a jerk. But we do plenty of that on our own here at any percent too.
Let's remember the from Voyage. It's a password.
Oh, Voyage. Okay, good. Glad you caught that. So Marion shared with us an important password to reveal ourselves to a Knight of the King who is going to help us get more ransom surely. There is a treasure train on this day that we're going to try and capture full of ransom. I think much is planned about a bunch of boars attacking them is, oh, it didn't work. Aw, shoot. Well, on to the next day. So yeah, what happened there is you pick you once again pick a plan from one of your merry men to capture a treasure train, and most of them have a big cutscene tied to them, except for Much the Miller Son's plan, which is get a bunch of hogs to attack the treasure train, and immediately the hogs all go their separate way, and they don't even do anything, so there's no cutscene. So always got to make sure to rely on Much here. So this is allegedly the King's Knight, but he's actually a fake. Normally we shoot him and find out, but Ludwig's going to take advantage of a little skip where he breaks out of the cutscene and maps away. And just like that, we are nearly at the end of the run. Ludwig's going to do one last thing here and save the true King's Knight, which is back in the Swamp Fortress here. Going to do a little bit of hand code magic by talking to these will-o-wisps who are going to pick up a boat for us so we can get there. They're also going to guide us through the fog. You can kind of anticipate where they're going to go based on their first actions, but I'll defer to Ludwig if he wants to do that or keep this marathon safe and just wait for them to pick it up.
I do that. I totally do that. They're totally going right.
Yeah.
That's the easiest.
They like to tease you with it, like, you know, do a little fake out.
And now for some reason that I still haven't understand, probably because it's in the manual, I have to spell the word gourd.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things we don't do in the game where you can use different tree words that help you out, and one of them is gourd, which makes these vines tougher so we can climb up them. So Ludwig's going to shimmy up this tower, and he's going to activate his hand code one more time. Time is going to end when he finishes typing the word voyage and clicks his palm. So we are nearly at the end here. Now if we have time, we should really check out the ending. And time. And skip one. We call time here because there's one arcade sequence left, but we've cranked our difficulty down to easy, so we just shimmy down without getting boulders thrown at us.
Yeah, this is also a very pathetic arcade sequence. It makes no sense.
It's pretty tragic, yeah. Back then, they all wanted to have
the star fight was
have at least
better.
one in there. Yeah, there's actually a few arcade sequences throughout the game, and some are better than others. So we saved the King's Knight for what that's worth. He's going to take our ransom of 300 coins, which was our starting ransom. It's going to take it to the king and get this whole thing sorted out. So, you know, maybe we didn't, you know, help him out a lot, but, you know, we did some solid work here. We saved his favorite court jester. We saved Maid Marian, who's very fond of. I think he's going to look on us favorably.
Yeah, sure. I will fast forward this a little bit because this takes like 10 minutes if you read.
You might be able to
this.
skip through a decent chunk of it.
Yeah. Marion.
I don't know how he keeps that much muscle. You know, he's just living out in the woods, but good on you, Robin. Oh, we're about to be hanged. Shoot, King Richard didn't arrive in time.
No.
That's too bad.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, we're saved. Oh, man. That would have been grim if we just ended at the gallows, huh?
Now comes the trial. And this game has 4 distinct endings based on how much ransom you gathered, how much points you got. On the best ending, you will actually get named Earl of some thing.
Earl
you
of
also-
Huntington.
Yeah, and you also get to marry.
Yeah, so that's the
Marion.
best ending. Here, everyone's going to talk smack or talk positive about Robin, depending on what we've done. This actually looks fairly good because we didn't do a lot of objectively awful stuff, but we didn't really help a lot of these people out either. So there's a couple scenes missing. But the fact that our ransom was so low means that the game gets a little confused and pretends that Marion is dead. And that for that reason we can't take Robin at his word. So I find you guilty of all charges. You shall hang tomorrow.
That's the first time I saw this one. What did I do different?
Ooh. That looks bad. A truly sad and pathetic.
Sad and pathetic performance. I guess this run can't count. I have to redo it.
Yep. For PB's world records, this Bard is always here to remind us that we can always push the game that much faster.
Well, okay then. So we finished within the estimate, which I am glad we did. So thank you very much for having me and this run, and thank you very much, Lemming, for hopping in really quickly.
We're just thrilled to have another runner, even if we kind of force you to do it. So I hope you had fun
Because
with it.
I would not have been able to explain all of this stuff while I'm concentrating on all the skips and stuff.
Yeah, so I really appreciate you running this and giving it a shot.
Yeah, I would definitely continue running it. It's very fun. Just have to figure out the right setup for the real any %. Because this is not the real any %. This is more the any % throttled on the original Scum VM.
We tried to make this version a little bit more accessible for the marathon. But no, we can definitely get you set up on the true any %.
All right. With this being said, wish you guys lots of fun and lots of luck for the upcoming runners with the rest of the marathon.